Hi there, it's David Ship here from Coaching Construction. I just wanted to do this video to talk to you about a graph that we use in some of our trainings. On another video I will have explained how this book has impacted basically the work that Coaching Construction do. And this book, if you haven't seen that video, obviously I'd recommend watching that. But it's basically, this book is called Fishtails, and it's to do with basically it's a very big promise at the front of it, on the front page, is the number way to boost morale. So in the other video I have explained what I think morale is. I believe it's a feeling, it's an energy that's around the workplace, but what it definitely is that it's a very good indicator of how well employees are engaged, how happy they are at work, and how productive, efficient, and just generally how well a business or department is doing. So in some of the trainings what we do is I want to share this graph that we look at. Now some of our training can be 5 days long. Other training can be just 1 day long. We can do half days, but on the 5 days what we do is we take people through a journey really of team. Basically a lot of the groups that come together for a 5 day, they're not people that know each other. So what we do is we basically build the team up, and throughout those 5 days they're doing activities, some that are kind of unexpected for them, like surprise time. Some I won't tell you too much about that because it ruins the surprise when you actually go on the course. But what we do is at the end of one of those activities, we're probably halfway through the week, and obviously people have started to get to know each other. If you're aware of anything to do with team dynamics, then you'll know that there is sometimes there's friction when people are bonding. And so after one of these major activities we do halfway during the week is we debrief the following morning and basically look at this activity, which is, you know, quite a long activity. And what we do is we use this graph to basically help people understand what has happened throughout that activity. Amongst other things, this is one of the things that comes out of that activity and all the days leading up to the point at which we do this graph. So let's look at what this graph means. It's XY axes, and so this here on the up and down is basically morale. So as we've said, it's a feeling, it's an energy in the workplace and an energy within teams. Just, you know, it could be an energy within families as well, but it's often related more to the workplace. So here we go, we've got morale. So down the bottom here would be low morale, and up here would be high morale. It all depends on how someone feels and what they deem low morale and high morale. So moving on the other axis is time. So as we said, we're looking at a activity which is over a certain amount of time, and this is basically from the start to the finish. Okay, and what we basically do is on the debrief is that we take each person in turn and we use different colours of pen, and what we do is we basically look at certain things that happened on the time scale. So there might be like an introduction part, so just prior to the actual activity being set, maybe when the activity has been set, people know what they're doing. Then we're moving into the early stages of the activity, and then all the way through to anything that's basically happening within that activity. So let's just put that on there. Sorry for the pen, it's not deciding not to work today. So that's the activity. So each person in turn, what we do is we basically plot their morale. So I don't know, they've been on the course for a little while, hopefully they're enjoying it, so maybe their morale is high at the start, at that point there, and then they realise that they've been set another activity. Depending on what they feel and I suppose what time it's been set, that morale may stay at one level, or it may be dropped to a certain point. And then obviously going into the activity, moving on wherever that morale is for that certain person. Now through activity they might be excited at the start, and then they're coming down, and now they're getting tired, so their morale is low, and I don't know, now they're thinking, right, we're nearly to the finish. They might have a setback in the terms of the activity, and it'll go down and then back up. So when we put everybody's morale, we call it the morale meter, when we put their morale meter results on here, is what you'll find is that some people will be different at different stages. So they may meet the same kind of morale at certain points, and moving on, they, at this point here, they may like all feel like disappointed, and then they might finish up like on the same line. But what's really interesting is when you put like more than one person's morale, I suppose, level on this graph, is that you can actually see where the other people in the group are feeling at a certain point when you're feeling the way you were. So areas like this, where you've got someone who's on a low morale and someone else is on a high morale, and this is at the start of the activity, so what was happening there. So it's a great tool. I'd recommend anyone to use it, is to see and bring out conversations of like, well, why is this person up here feeling that they're on the way up in terms of morale, and the other person here is on the way down with morale. At that point there, it's a great thing to actually analyse what was happening there, because what you'll often find, and we find on pretty much every occasion, is that no one is in the same place. But what it allows you to do is analyse, debrief what has happened in the activity, and look at what could that person maybe done. If this is a team, then everyone should be working together, and how can your team member bring that morale back up? What could have happened so that the morale didn't drop? It's a great tool. It really facilitates great questioning, and it helps people get more of an awareness of what was going on in that activity, and not just for themselves. So I recommend you use it. You've got morale up and down, and time, and any kind of activity. It doesn't have to be in training. It could be in a workplace. Maybe it was like a training within a workplace, or maybe it's just generally like time over a month within in a company or in a department. And as I say, I've said it before, I've said it lots of times on this video, but it's a great tool because it can actually get people talking about, well, I thought it was great. Like, this point here, like halfway through the month, it was amazing. Halfway through the week, it was amazing. And the other person was like, well, I didn't feel that way. Like, that I was not getting that. Again, something else that will come out is that it's a really great tool to get people talking about some of the more kind of sensitive things. So a lot of the times our morale goes down when someone says something maybe disrespectful, or they're not understanding of you. So it allows that person, I suppose, to put something down on paper and then actually like develop a conversation, rather than going straight in there and going, right, what you said there did impact me. I'll finish the video there. So it's the morale meter. Feel free to use it, and it's a great tool to develop conversations and to look at how people impact each other. And it's just a fact that people have morale at different levels depending on how they are perceiving whatever is happening. Thanks for watching. It's David Ship for Coaching Construction. All the best and stay safe.